All right, guys, we are back. We are live. So now we are walking amongst the streets, walking amongst the lobby of the Roseville Theater Arts Academy. Right now, the Scheherazade preview is getting ready. We're waiting. We're going to interview David Endicott Hicks, who just had their T5 performance, and we're just going to interview him, talk to him a little bit about who he is, what he does. But let's catch up. Um, we are, I think, 14,000. 900, so I think we're almost close to, we're like right there at 15,000. We're super close. And we've got some updates. Jennifer Kustra donated $50. Thank you. Megan Lewis donated $52.60. Thank you. Angie Pease donated $26.30. And Camille Perkins donated $21.04. And then we also have Mary Stephen, I think that might be Eleanor Stephen, my grandmother, I think, $100, thank you, and Heather Botnin for $26.30. So thank you guys so much. That's awesome. Now we have some prizes. We have the Todd Taylor Wines tasting for 4 people. It's a $40 value. So if you donate $40 or more, we will get you this Todd Taylor Wines tasting for 4 friends. Look at that, 4 friends for 4. That's $10 a person. That's like killer. Okay, so that's up on the table. Still up on the table is we have our Little Ones Workshop registration. If you donate $130 or more, we will give you this Little Ones Workshop free. And so if you're already planning on being in a workshop, just donate the 130, and then boom, you've got the workshop. You're done, right? A next bigger prize for $250, Big Spoon Yogurt at Fountains Roseville. 1 year of 1 free yogurt a week. It's over $250 in value. We are just saying it's $250. Look at all those coupons. All right, so 1 free yogurt a week. That's 52 free yogurts. Yeah, that's, come on, 52 free yogurts. And then the last thing, this is our big, is we have for $1,200, we have the complimentary 2-night stay in the San Francisco Marriott Marquis with, it's also got like an M Lounge pass or something like that. And along with that is 2 tickets to Waitress the musical, which is super popular right now. And that's a $1,200 donation right there. That is our big mamma jamma, okay? So we've got the Little Ones Workshop, the Big Spoon, the Waitress, and the hotel, and then the $40 wine tasting. So we've got some stuff. And as donations are coming in, people are going to come. They're going to say, hey, we got another donation. We got another donation. And we will get this stuff to you. I know some of you are still waiting. When are those Disneyland tickets going up? I promise you they're coming soon. They're coming soon, okay? So just keep watching, keep paying attention for those Disneyland tickets, okay? Now, so what we've got coming up is we've got we're going to interview David Endicott Hicks, and then we're gonna walk around. We're gonna talk to some people, say hi to some people, maybe say hi to some T5 performers that are just kind of hanging out, and then we're gonna have a big reunion interview, and we're going to we have a lot of people that grew up in Magic Circle, the old theater company that was here before, and they are now back, and they're all here at the same time, which is crazy. And they're all starting to pitch in and help Roseville Theater Arts Academy, and now as mentors and trainers and directors and instructors. And so we're going to talk to them and kind of get a feel for what it's like to have all of them back together, but now they're in completely different situations. So really excited about that. So if you're family, friends of any of these people, you're going to want to watch this interview because it's probably going to be really moving and really good. So yeah, let's kind of look around. Let's take a look at the wall. So here's our donation wall. We have Amanda Duesenberg over here working on the wall. Yeah, we're hanging up. So we got chicken wings and butterfly wings and fairy wings and angel wings. We got, if your name's not up here, it's coming, or you haven't donated yet. Yeah, so we gotta get your name up here, okay? So yeah, this looks great. Let's look at. We've got a colored one. Let's look and see. Oh, Phoenix Vaughn. There's a Phoenix Vaughn. That one's all colored and pretty. Ooh, that one's pretty. And this one here, Sean Poutier. Oh, he's got 2. He's got two, or maybe he came in person to make his own, and then we made him one. So here's his, and then Sarah, don't know who that is, but nice little yellow. I don't know which Sarah that is, but awesome. Yeah. Oh, it looks great. Looks great. Here, follow me. So one of the cool items that's going to be up for auction is this bad boy right here. Oh yeah. All you have to do is win the auction, and if you have a truck, you come pick it up. It comes with wheels. It is like fully sturdy. I hate to take it apart, but this musical piano, whatever price it goes for, it's yours. I can't wait. I hope you guys are excited about that. This is a huge set piece. This is giant. I don't know how you're gonna fit it in your car. Okay, come on. Yes, let's peek inside.
Okay, I think I get it. Eventually, the king hired a royal tutor to come and help him. The two of them would discuss mathematical topics every day, and eventually the prince started to improve. But one day, after the prince had given up again. What do you think you're doing? You're playing my game. And what did you do with all my gold? You bought a pumpkin costume and a rocking horse? I was only taking a break. For an hour. And you think you can use my things, play my games? No more. My father says I can decide my true respect, and you are not. You are fired.
All right, so David Endicott Hicks is ready to rock and roll. All right, come on, let's go. You know, I'm like Angel. How are you doing? Good. I'm okay. I'm tired. Okay. Just take a seat. You sit here. All right. All right, David. So let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us first? Well, first of all, he is the director of the T5 program, and he's also the musical director of School of Rock, which is opening across the street.
Yeah.
Yep. He was. If you saw McBee when we did McBee, he was McBee last year. Yep. And so if you came and saw that crazy midnight show, he was there on stage as McBee that night. And I'm trying to think what else. And he musical directed Elf Jr.
Mhm.
Yes, the Treehouse Show. So he's been around, but we want to hear from David himself. Where did you start? Where have you come from? What are some of the things that you've done?
So I, I grew up in Grass Valley, so north of here, and that was a great experience because I got to be in the choir there, and that's actually the first time that I really did a big production. I think the first one the musical that I did was Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I was not anybody except for every chorus member. Like
Sure.
I think I had like 8 or 9 parts in it.
Okay, that's
a very small cast.
Yeah.
But super fun. And then we ended up doing Into the Woods where I was Jack, and so it kind of got me really hooked like into that Sondheim like thing. And so I ended up going to my undergrad at the University of the Pacific Conservatory of Music. So I actually went there in under the impression that I was going to be doing musical theater, but I got into the Conservatory of Music, so they were like, no, you're singing opera. So that was something that I was like, I am. So, but as soon as I started really taking lessons with the teacher that I had, it was, I mean, it's such a great experience to study classically because you learn so much more about what is going on in with the vocal folds. The technical term is vocal folds, not chords. Because they're actually not chords, they're folds. And just all of that. And so I actually went forward with my degree in opera and graduated with a vocal performance degree in opera.
Cool.
And so from there, like a good opera singer, I decided to go to grad school.
Okay.
Because opera singers go, like, they get a doctorates in music, basically. So they're the doctors of being a musician,
music
basically.
doctors.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
And so you stay in school, and then after that, you go to a young artist program.
Okay.
So it's
So-
like so much school.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have people on Broadway who went to any music school that gives you a certificate, and they're there for 2 years.
Or they went to community college
Right.
for a year, dropped
Right.
out, and just moved. Yeah.
It's such a different thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I actually got into grad school, but then got contracted with the San Francisco Opera.
Okay.
And so I put off going to grad school to do that contract.
Cool.
And
Now,
so,
did you go and audition for them and you got it? You just got in? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And so it was my opera director at UOP at that time said, you got to put off grad school and you have to do the contract. Because I was like, well, what do I do? You know, like I got into a great school, like,
Yeah.
and so they were able to defer that.
Okay.
So, anyways, eventually went to Boston to the New England Conservatory of Music.
Okay.
And from there, actually decided, I don't know about this opera thing, and moved to New York City.
Okay.
And so I moved to New York and was there for 10 years. And within that time, I was able to, I performed on Broadway once in Junie B. Jones. I did some tours. So it's funny living in New York City where it's the mecca of theater, right?
Yeah.
Lots of people from all over the United States come to New York and audition for their shows that are in Ohio, Music Circus
Right.
does auditions there,
Right.
and all of that. So I got to do regional theater as well because they all come to New York, and then if they want you, then they fly you out to wherever. So I spent 7 months in Ohio doing shows and so I just had a really great time in New York City, in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I lived there for 10 years doing my thing, and then I actually decided to do some cruise ship singing for a while.
Yeah.
With a production company called Gene and Ryan Productions.
Okay.
So
What cruise ships were you on?
So that was Regent Seven Seas.
Okay, Regent Seven Seas.
And Regent Seven Seas is a boutique cruise line. So
Okay.
they're smaller ships.
Yeah.
But like for instance, one of our guests was Gene Hackman, and
wow.
like you have very very
Okay.
rich guests.
Right. They're not like
It's not Carnival.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
no offense to Carnival.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
just a different feel.
right.
Different
It's not a
vibe,
bucket of beer type thing.
Right.
They're having actually all the alcohol on that ship is inclusive. So they pay a flat fee on Regent Seven Seas, and then everything is included. The excursions, everything.
Wow.
So they just pay a flat fee, and then so they can
It's
they have a butler
Oh.
that they can say, can you please bring a bottle of
So you
Grey
were
Goose to
you
my.
were entertaining the hoity-toity. Yeah.
Which a lot of them are so nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
And then there's things like when you have that job, you're kind of like well known on the ship because they say your name at every show that you do
Yeah.
and everything like that. So they actually, part of my job was to go up to the lounge and like talk to people and have drinks
Schmooze.
for free.
Yeah.
Like it was part of the job. So it was a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
And then after that, I thought it was time to get back to California, you know? And so here I am, and I'm taking a break from, I'm doing a little bit of performing here and there, but I feel like I really want to focus on some teaching for now.
Yeah.
And I can always go back to performing,
Yeah.
you know, at some point.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of want to get stuff going. And
Yeah.
I found Roseville Theater Arts Academy.
Yeah, tell us how you found us. I know you told me the story personally, but tell everybody at home so they know like how you stumbled upon it.
Well, to be honest, when I first came to Roseville, I came because my grandma had an accident and she broke her hip, and so we needed somebody to take care of her, and so it was me.
Yeah.
So I had the time. I thought I will just do that, and so. About 5 weeks in, Grandma's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Just 90-year-old grandma.
And just moving
Up
around.
and moving around and doing great.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, I'm really bored. What can I do around here?
Yeah.
And I literally just Google searched theater.
Yeah.
Roseville, because I didn't know
Right,
I didn't
right.
know anything around
Right,
here.
right,
And so, I mean, I knew Music Circus just because
Right,
they auditioned
right,
in New York.
right.
And so, and it just, you guys were the first one that came up.
Wow.
And you happened to be having auditions like the next week. So,
Yeah.
it
For
was
McBee,
just,
and you were like, I'm just gonna go.
I was like, why not?
You
know?
Yeah.
I had my back pocket Shakespeare audition repertoire ready.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, I gotta go over that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah. And then you told me this story that when you came to audition, you didn't even expect like McBee or anything like that, right?
No.
You were.
Oh no.
Yeah. What did you tell me? You were expecting to get.
Like McDuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I really didn't expect to get really anything. I have done Shakespeare in the past and do
Yeah.
have it on my resume.
Yeah.
But I've done so much musical theater
Right.
that is if you look at my resume, it's the majority is musical theater,
Right.
and then it's opera, and then there's some straight plays. You know what I mean? But it's mainly so.
Yeah.
I mean, really, in my mentality when I go to an audition is still like in the New York state of mind,
Yeah.
which is, if you sometimes they just take your resume and they'll be like, I'm sorry, we don't want to see you. You don't have enough Shakespeare on your resume.
And they're like,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
See you later.
I mean, so for me, I was like, I'll go to the audition. We'll see how it goes,
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
I think I actually put McBee and like, what role would you accept? And I put McDuff, McBee, and then in parentheses I put laugh out loud or something like that.
Oh, really?
Like I think I actually was like, yeah, sure, McBee.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah. And
Honestly, that was one of the hardest roles of my entire life.
Yeah.
It is so much memorization. It is so much. Emotionally, it's draining.
Yeah.
But it was great. You know. I mean,
yeah.
but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
easy.
difficult.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's not easy. Yeah. And so let's go back just a minute because I'm sure all the kids that are watching us live or watching at home, they're like, oh my God, you were on Broadway. Talk about that just for a little bit. They probably want to know what's that like. How is it different than what they do now? Yeah.
It's not that different.
Yeah.
It really is.
Is it just fast paced?
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, there's. It's this. I guess the biggest difference is that you're working with professionals.
Yeah.
And so, like, we don't come in for a vocal warm up.
Okay.
We don't come in for a physical warm up.
Yeah.
We don't. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that on Broadway. If you need to warm yourself up, you do it on your own time.
Okay.
And because it's your job to be warmed up and to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So
you're expected to know your stuff.
Right.
That's why you. Yeah.
That said, with certain shows, they will have a group dance warm up. That they'll set up.
Okay.
And so, but it's not mandatory.
Right.
At least. I was never in like Newsies or anything like
right,
that,
where
it's like a dance show, Cats. No, never.
Yeah.
And so, I've heard from my friends that sure there was a dance call, that was a warm up call, but if you're in a show with, Patti LuPone is not coming to warm up with you.
Right. Yeah, she just shows up.
She's gonna do her thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
So it's kind of a different mindset, and so really when I'm teaching kids as well in a theater, in a production or in what am I trying to say in the theater? Whatever. Setting. In the theater setting. I try to instill in them, like, listen, this is not just some, like, this is really fun and, like, woo, like just, I'm going to mess around. I try to instill in them a little bit more professionality, more of an attitude of, like, you're here to do some work.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I mean, I definitely like when people say, "Can we warm up?" or "I need more of a warm up," or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because of course, in this setting, we do a group warm up.
Right, right, right,
It's
right,
not.
right.
I suppose if they were getting paid, they'd probably do it at home.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But I
Totally.
mean, that's really the biggest difference. Other than you have big audiences all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like,
when you came in, so somebody else played the role before you, and then
Yes.
you came in.
I was an
So-
immediate replacement.
Oh wow.
So I had.
So you weren't like an understudy or anything?
No.
Oh,
So they
dang.
did an audition, at like a last minute audition. I had gone in for the role originally and left them my headshot because I didn't have time to audition for the role. Because when you are a working actor in New York, it's kind of a misconception that you just go from contract to contract to
Right,
contract.
right,
I'm going to be in Cats next week. I'm going to be in Phantom of the Opera the next week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, no, you get a contract, and then sometimes you have a lull for months, years,
And you're just sitting around.
and you can't just sit around because
Yeah.
you can't pay for your apartment in New York City.
Yeah.
So you have to have what is called a survival job, which for a lot of people is, for a lot of actors is waiting tables,
Yeah.
bartending, because it's easy. You go and you make your money, you take your money home at night.
Yeah.
And besides that, it's a very temporary type job.
Yeah.
You know, you're not working towards getting a promotion.
Right.
You're
right,
just
right.
kind of in that job, and you hope that you're working at a restaurant that is very busy and you're making a lot of tips.
Right.
You
right,
know.
Right. Right. You're not.
And then you can say, "Oh, by the way, I have to leave next week." You know, and they'll be like,
yeah.
"Okay, there's another waiter around this corner."
Right.
You know?
Right. New York
And
City's probably full of that.
It's so full of
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of working at a jazz club, and they were fantastic, and it was called Smoke Jazz, on the Upper West Side, and they had really, really famous like jazz guys from the old days who would play there all the time, and 5 sets of jazz every night, and they were like, if you need to go, just let us know when you come back. So I had a great relationship with this restaurant that they were like, listen, we'll take you back whenever you
Okay.
come back. So
Yeah.
if you can find that, now that's fantastic.
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
can just be like, I'll be back next month. You
Yeah,
guys can
got
give me a
safety
few
net there.
shifts,
Yeah.
and they're like, sure.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
Why did I get onto that in the
I don't
first
know.
place?
But it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one
Crazy
of those.
world.
It's a different type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so
I think it's good for the youth if that's what their goal is one day is to be a Broadway star.
right.
You know, to know what it's like.
Right.
Yeah, from somebody who's experienced
There are
it,
people
you know.
that work constantly that are still not stars.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
but
Right.
and then there's
But they're working.
those of us that work on Broadway, and then we'll take a tour, and then we'll take a cruise ship contract, and then we'll take this. My very first cruise ship contract I worked with in the cast was Jane Doyle, she was the original Joanne in Broadway. Oh, she was the original Maureen she was the original Maureen in Rent. On
Okay.
the West End.
Okay.
When it went
Cool.
to the West End.
Yeah.
And like, so we were on a cruise ship together.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
Hey.
and she was so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
every time she sang, I was like, oh my God, you're so good. I'm in this cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like things like
Yeah.
that. But she literally like did several things in the West End, like a pretty big name in London at least.
Yeah.
But then
Awesome.
she had her lull, and
Yeah.
so like she was like, I'm gonna do a cruise ship. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this, and she teaches now how to baby and teaches. But
Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, last thing before we send you on your way, let's talk about T5.
Okay.
So now you're the director of T5, and that was a great performance. I loved it. It seemed like the crowd really loved it, and we got really good responses on the YouTube, right? We had like 50 playbacks or something like that. Is that right?
Sweet.
So people were saving it, and then they caught it all. They watched it all in one thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Talk about T5 and what you're planning to do because you've just started like what 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Yeah. So kind of talk about what you plan for T5 and the way the new enrollment system works. and all
Okay.
that stuff.
So our enrollment right now, we're taking ongoing enrollment. So anybody that's interested in getting some great dance technique, some good vocal technique, also some acting in there as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
which
saw
is-
acting going on in that thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, you can't just stand there and sing.
Yeah.
You know, and so really I thought you were giving me my payment. Just
Oh, the
kidding.
Little One Workshop is going to Eleanor Steven for $100. To Mary Steven. Okay, Mary, good job. All right, it's off the table. All right, continue.
So let's go back to what we're doing with T5.
Okay.
So we're actually going to be putting together shows that showcase solos a little bit more now, and trying to put together shows that really are going to be big crowd pleasers. Like I want to do performances at least once a month.
Yeah.
You know, if we do have a month there that we're not doing a performance, then it's because we're probably working on a brand new show.
Yeah.
And then it will be there the next month.
Yeah.
But I really want to get out in the community and have everybody see the way these kids can dance and sing and act and do their thing. And so, yeah, coming up, we're working on a Greatest Showman inspired show. It's going to be really fun. And the thing that I love about the material is that, you know, it's about circus people. So it's about people who aren't perfect and are proud of them. And I think that we need a little bit more of that, you know, with our kids and to be out and say, like, this is who I am, and like,
and that's okay.
That's completely all right, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I love this material. And I think that it also can be super dramatic and super cool.
Yeah.
And so, but I do want to
really do like to be dramatic.
Right.
They really do.
You think?
Yeah. Like, it's hard to get comedy out of them. They don't want to be silly. They want to be like, bleeding hard,
Right.
you know?
But I do want to focus a little bit more on T5 as being the troupe that's going to teach kids to be comfortable going into auditions. So we're doing a lot of mock auditions now, and we're doing a lot of so 1 week we'll say, hey, come in and guess what? Surprise, we're going to be doing a surprise dance audition today. So get ready in 5 minutes, and we're going to go and learn a routine because, you know, I'm not the best dancer. I've danced in shows.
Yeah.
But it takes me a while to get it. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a skill to be able to go into a dance audition and say
Yes.
5, 6, 7, 8 and bust it out.
Yeah, it is
But
a
it
skill.
really
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be included in the curriculum of T5. Also, vocal technique. And I'm taking kids out and we're doing one-on-one sessions where we can talk about, is that the best place to sing that in your voice? And that kind of thing. And so it's just going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
and,
I'm really excited too. What I saw today was so good. I thought it was really awesome.
And we're performing at the Fountains tomorrow.
Fountains tomorrow.
At 6,
What, 6 p.m.?
6 p.m.
Tomorrow at the Fountains.
We are the very first act for the entire summer.
Is it that little
first
area
Friday.
by Jack's Urban Eats?
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly where that is.
So it's right by Jack's.
Just say what day.
There's-
What day is today? Just say what day, because you're saying tomorrow.
Tomorrow
They may
is
be
the-
watching a replay.
Oh, tomorrow is May 4th. That's our performance. Today is May 3rd.
Yeah. So tomorrow is Friday, May 4th, right?
Friday, May 4th
Oh,
at
gosh, what
6
day is
p.m.
it?
at the Fountains.
Yeah.
When we're having our big first public performance.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
so.
And then we did announce today that a night with T5 is happening. We've never done that. We've never had a night just dedicated to T5 where the audience comes in and just watches T5. You know, usually they're like an opening act or a closing act or a middle break between something. And
So,
so I think it's really cool that we can showcase them.
Absolutely.
It's all about them. And look at what these kids have been working
there
on.
is no admission charge.
Yeah.
It's only donation admission.
That's great.
So
yeah.
it's going to be all the proceeds go to T5 to like fund. Because now I'm also adding some costuming and some stuff like that for shows, and I just got this confirmed, but in October we're gonna do a Halloween show,
Oh,
and And we're
cool.
gonna have a live band from School of Rock play.
Yes, very
So,
cool. That is so cool.
I think Thriller will probably be in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, David. Well, here, shake my hand. Great job.
Weird,
the one hand.
left hand.
I know. Yeah. Great job. I think we got some T5ers here. Yeah. XT5ers and current T5ers on the right. Yeah. And you guys sounded great today. You guys both rocked. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So good job, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Donate.
Donate. We got to get that goal.
Donations.
Yeah, we got to do it. All right, so we have another prize up. The prize is another iFly pass. So the skydiving experience, but it's safe and you're inside, not jumping out of a plane. And also, we have included a free Dutch Bros drink. So a $60 donation, next $60 donation, all right, of this, coming in gets this prize. Let's see what time it is. What time do we got here? I'm looking. It's 6:48.
I know one donation that wasn't said.
What?
Maggie Rosenberg donated $50 earlier.
She did? Oh, Maggie Rosenberg donated $50. Thank you, Maggie Rosenberg. When did she donate $50?
She handed me a check, $50 before she left.
That's awesome. Did we turn it in?
I did. I turned it in.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie Rosenberg. We're gonna have an interview with these guys in just a minute, about 10 minutes, okay? About 10 minutes. I'm gonna go run in. John, if you want to tour the area, you want to talk to these guys for a second, I'll just be right back, okay?
I guess I'm your new MC.
This is like one of the first times I'm on screen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you
Well,
always
this is
I'm
Johnny.
always in the back.
This is Johnny Vardavian. I'm Violet Johansson. My mom's texting me. Hey, Mom.
Miss California's outstanding team.
Hey. Good job.
I did it.
Why were you outstanding?
Okay.
Why are you outstanding?
Good question. It's a part of my title. I didn't choose the name of it. However.
She's outstanding. She's awesome.
She's a really cool kid.
Okay. Well, do we want to give the viewers like a tour
Of what?
of the theater?
Well, we can't go in
Can't go anywhere.
No, I know, but we can give them the tour of
the lobby.
I mean, if they watched the Instagram live today at 3 a.m., they saw plenty of the theater,
So just
aka us exploring.
Just talk
every
about
single
yourselves.
We cleaned these tables.
We do have these viewers, that's true.
Talk about ourselves. Well, I mean,
So
we
you
could
were
promote.
You're former T5ers, so what are you now?
We could promote XT5ers. I was in it for 4 years, and now I'm aged out.
Age down.
Yeah.
For a year and a half, and now I'm going to college.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I can promote-
Thank
I can
you.
promote. Make sure you come to spelling bee auditions.
True, yes. Come to Spelling Bee
Spelling
auditions.
auditions
It's going to be an incredible show.
Is it up there?
The 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Yes, the shows are July 20th to 28th,
And make sure you guys come and audition.
and auditions are about 3 weeks away.
Yeah. What's the age limit on masters, Ellie?
19.
Is it 9 to
It's
19?
It's 10 to 19.
10 to 19.
No, spelling bee is 13.
Oh, 13.
Oh,
I forgot
13
about
to
that.
19 because this is not an appropriate show for younger children. So
Well,
13
we're doing the
kids.
school audition. We're doing the school
13.
audition. So
13 kids. So if you're a 10-year-old, don't go showing up to spelling bee auditions and be like, yo, I'm gonna play chip, because you're not. Okay, I'm sorry. Because this show is not appropriate for you.
It's awesome.
Your time will come.
I know I'll be there. I'll be there. She'll be there. It'll be a good time.
his girlfriend will be there. I set them up a year ago. They're still dating. You're welcome.
Is that what made you outstanding?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Matchmaker. I did. I set up Kara and Johnny.
Yeah, but make sure you guys come to auditions. It'll be a super fun show. Like,
Why do you care who comes to the auditions? Are you directing, starring, already in it?
no,
Yeah.
I'm not even in it yet. I'm just auditioning.
We're auditioning.
And I really hope I get in because it's a super fun show that a lot of people love.
And it might be your last show because you'll be
Might be
aging
my-
out,
yeah,
and then
might
it'll
be
be
my-
might be my
Might be
last
my
show
last
because I'm going to college.
Masters. So it's a big one. This one's a big one. But I'm really excited to see what they do next year. So donate.
Keep the doors
We can
open.
do this.
What should people do?
What?
What should people do?
They should donate
Donate now.
money because Should we do the sappy story of why they should donate?
Sure.
Hold on.
Not here, she's very
Uh-oh. Those are interviews for me.
That's an interview for later. Okay.
Later. Yeah. I hope everyone has had a good day today. I hope work went well, school went well. I know I was supposed to be here 24 hours, and I went home and slept. Because I'm lame.
Because he's a baby.
I did not do that.
I was gonna come for 24 hours, but I actually got the day wrong. I thought that today was the first day of it, so I missed out. I'm a little bummed about that.
That's okay, you're here now. That's why
I had college classes, so I had to not be here. But now I'm here.
What shows are going on right now? Make sure you come see Scheherazade. It's a great show. My brother and my mom are in it, and a lot of close
And your
friends of mine,
girlfriend.
and my girlfriend, and a lot of close friends are in it. So make sure you come see it. It's really, really, really funny.
I only got to see the opening of it, but it's hilarious.
They open Saturday,
Yeah.
11 and 2 o'clock.
The tickets are $10, 11 and 2 o'clock from May 5th to May 19th. And yes, I am reading the board right over there.
Sorry that I ran away.
It was-
Roseville Theater Arts Academy.
It was
dot
written.
com.
It was written by the amazing Ken Duesenberg,
Who
and
usually runs our lighting. And
he is running our lighting. And the director Bobby Granger is amazing, and he is actually starring in it.
Yes.
So it's just it's really funny, really cute, very kid friendly.
Yes.
So make sure you bring your kids and bring yourselves, and it's a great, great, great show.
And sorry, folks, that I ran away. But Sandy Ellenwood, see, this is what theater does. Sandy Ellenwood, that woman is the reason I am doing theater
Okay,
right
well
now.
that's
an interview for later.
a good story. What made you start with theater, or what was your first theater show and your
Oh, we should
first
do that. We should do
experience?
that. So my first experience. So I was 4 years old, and a show that's very near and dear to my heart. It's called The Little Prince. Very rare.
And you are how old now?
I am 14, so this was 10 years ago. I lived in the middle of nowhere, definition of middle of nowhere. And so they did 2 shows a year. And so my mom was like, "Hey, I know it says 7 Up, but can I take Ellie?" Because I was an energetic child, so we needed to find a way for me
I don't believe that.
to calm down, take a chill pill. Because they enrolled me in karate, but I wasn't the best at that. Or sports. So they're like, "Well, can we take her to this?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's 7 and Up, but you can try and take it." And I was so invested in it, and I loved it. And then this is a funny story. So my first audition, I was 5 years old, and this was for A Christmas Carol. I was the youngest one in the cast, and I walk into the audition room, and they go, "Okay, Ellie, would you like to sing something for us?" And I went, "No, thank you." And I just stood there for a solid 2 minutes, and the director was like, "Could you sing Happy Birthday?" No. And so the director sang Happy Birthday with me. I got in, got into the show. I was a soup lady's daughter, starring role. I know. And then I moved here, and I found out about RTAA, and Sandy was really the one that was like, "Hey, I really think you could have a future in this. You should keep going," when I was age 6. So yeah, and she just walked in, and I got really excited.
It's actually crazy. One of my first theater experiences included Denver, and I saw You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Colton Archie played Linus, and Denver was Lucy. And I remember watching it years ago, and I hadn't even started theater at that point, and I watched Colton and Denver in it, and I was like, I want to do this. This is awesome. It's so fun, and then of course Colton, when he started working here, he was like, "You know what? We're just gonna sign you up and not even tell you about it for a show, and you're gonna do it and be happy about it." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And now I'm really happy he did, because now I've been doing it for a long time.
And not this past December, but the year before, we did A Good Man, Charlie Brown, and you were Charlie Brown.
We did Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
But yeah, I did get to Charlie Brown. That was really cool.
3 minutes. 2 minutes of the interview. Megan's actually going to run the interview.
Megan Lewis.
She is here.
Guys, appreciation post for Megan Lewis.
So we've got 2 minutes till that interview.
Where's that taking place?
It takes place down here a little more. They'll probably get a little loud.
I just told a story about you actually.
Like you were, like it was queued up. Like you, like it's fake.
About one of my good feeders. You're a good man, Charlie Brown, and how it's kind of cool having Ben for you to remind me of that show. That was one of my favorite shows of all time.
I'm watching our performance. I think we did sponsored by my mom's iPhone 6. Sponsored by Apple. RTAA's BigDOG.
How did I do filming you?
What?
How did I do filming you?
A really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is actually my mother filming.
Oh,
I'm sorry. But
20 years of practice down the drain.
I'm sorry. Wasn't it like live? I can't watch it, right? Because it was live. So I'm sorry.
It's recorded.
It's recorded?
It's recorded, yeah.
I'll watch it.
I had to stand up and stretch.
Well, we're gonna go do an interview, aren't we?
Yeah, do an interview. Thanks for being so awesome, producer John.
Thank you. When is it 2 minutes yet?
Oh, it's close. I was totally zoning out there, guys.
Is it because you've been awake for like 36 hours?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and go? Yeah, go ahead and follow.
Oh.
Hey. Hey. Are we doing this? I don't know. Okay. All right. Who wants to be my first human?
Do it as a panel.
Nobody can get in.
All right. Alumni. Is it alumnus? Alumni? Alumna? I don't know what it is.
Aluminium?
Huh?
Aluminium?
Aluminium. Yes, that is the correct term. I'm going to close the way. Okay.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is where we're doing it.
How's it going? Good.
Good. I think we're doing it here. That's where I'm told.
Doing the webcast here in the lobby?
Yeah.
This is sponsored.
Because they're live.
Oh, what up? Live stream.
They're purposing it.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
So
Totally tired.
we may be, we need one more, right? You got?
Sorry, it's just rushing here.
Sorry. Maybe we should we like jam us a little closer here? There we go, jam.
TV close.
There we go. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
You just have to answer questions. You're not doing
I don't have to come up with anything, right? Thank God. Okay.
I haven't seen Denver in years.
I know.
Me
I'm
neither.
super
I
excited.
never hugged first.
I mean, I've seen her in years, but I'm still excited.
Yeah. It's like a permanent thing.
I know. Feels like a blasty from a passy. It is. I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. This is gonna be really interesting. It's all good. Ooh, yeah.
Can you ask all the really like personal, deep, dark secrets?
What a smile.
Yeah, but with a smile.
We can talk about your old nicknames, what we used to call you, and your excellent mom.
Yes, you and Jacob Keller, the Mullets.
Yeah. Jacob had a rat tail too. That was good too. He went from mullet to rat tail for a while. Okay. We loved it though, Jacob. It's okay.
Oh, yes.
Is she coming out?
She's gonna pop in.
Oh, cool.
She's hanging out with
Oh,
Bree.
great.
Sit down.
Yeah.
She can
We'll put her
sit
okay.
on your lap.
So, hello everyone who's been watching. So right now I'm sitting down with. Okay, cool. Keep going. Have fun, guys. Right now I'm sitting down with some Roosevelt Theater alumnus. So why don't we go around and why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Okay. Hi, I'm Sam. Now Amen. I was Ellenwood.
I'm Kevin Long. Glad to be back.
I'm Denver Vaughn.
I'm David Garrison.
And we all did theater here at this theater when we were very tiny children. And so it's really cool that they've all come back today. And, this is a really awesome day where the community gets to give back to us, which is, I'm so grateful for everyone who's donated today. I think all of us sitting here, this is like living proof of what this theater does for students. So I'd really love to hear from each of you when you got started, what the experience was like for you, what are you doing now, and as you reflect on that, what do you feel about this theater? Who would like to start?
Sam,
Hey, that's me. Okay. So I started here when I was 4. My first show was in Little Ones, Saga of Sweet Hannah Sue. Nobody's perfect. I was a deputy. The best one. I did theater my whole childhood, and then became the Little Ones instructor, and then the workshop choreographer, and then I was a director for Masters for a little while as well. I then went on from there. I kept doing direction and choreography during my undergrad at UC Davis, and then I went to medical school at UC Davis and finished my residency in pediatrics 2 years ago now, and now I'm a pediatrician.
Thank God she went first.
In the community, but my passion has always been working with kids with autism. So I'm lucky enough that I've gotten to partner with the theater and do our productions of Constellation Theater here, which we perform. Our cast is 50% kids on the autism spectrum, 50% typically developing kids, which usually come from our workshop programs here. And they provide buddies for the kids with autism, and the kids with autism get experience developing social skills, and the typically developing kids learn what it's like to be an advocate, and how to help people with autism navigate the world. And I think that my experience here, not only culminated in that, it's my passion, but also it gave me a unique set of traits that helped me through the arduous journey of medicine. I was, number one, had a lot more diverse experiences than a lot of my other applicants to medical school. People commented on that multiple times when I was interviewing. But I think it also, you learn how to think on your feet. You learn social skills and working as a team. You learn presentation skills. And so all of those things, I think, really supported, though medicine is very different than, working in theater. It's, I think it really provided me with an excellent set of skills.
I think you're going to need a rewrite. You're a bit of a Mary Sue. That's amazing.
The end.
No, it's amazing.
No,
Are we just going down the line here?
I think
I didn't
it's
realize we had
okay.
live audio commentary.
I know, right?
You don't get John Evans without John Evans talking.
This is the best. Okay, well, good to see you. I'm happy to be back. So I'm Kevin Long. I grew up here as well. I think my first show was when I was 6 years old. I know. It's not quite 4 years old. What happened was I saw my cousin, my older cousin, in a show here. I saw her as Annie Oakley in Oklahoma. And I was,
that's right.
yeah, my cousin Gillian.
Yeah.
And I was like immediately just taken by the theater and the experience. I was like, I gotta be on stage. And so I think I did a Hannah Sue, a couple of those. But the one that I really remember was Once in the Silent, when Phoenix was her older sister. Yeah, everyone knows. Yeah, they might not know. When Phoenix was the main person in that, Timoon, yeah. And so I just feel like that solidified my love for the theater, and just working on a team, sort of creating this art and expressing ourselves. So, and then so since then I did theater all the way up until I went to college, and then I went to college for performing arts. And I feel like my experience here at the theater just really sort of like empowered me to be myself and to express myself as an artist, and then gave me the tools and the training to be able to go and do it further in college and then beyond. I got my music degree, vocal performance, and then I sang professionally in LA for like 10 years. And so finally, I'm back here. I came back to start a family. And I have my first child on the way.
Yay!
Sounds like a second generation.
I know. Yeah, and I'm teaching music now.
Hooray!
So trying to give back or I guess empower the new youth to follow their passions, to be great musicians and to be great humans.
Yay, music teachers.
That's the story in a nutshell.
Oh no, I thought. Yeah. But why don't we hear from you too?
Oh, I'm bored. We don't want to hear
We interviewed her.
You already interviewed her.
Yeah.
But not every people coming up.
Give us like a recap. Who are you?
My name is Megan Lewis. I recently, a month ago, just started my job here as the executive director after Michelle Rasky left to go pursue theater in Arizona.
Boo.
Sentence you hear all the time.
All the time. All the time.
Theater in Arizona.
Theater in Arizona.
That's where I'm heading.
Child's Play. Go check it out. Yeah, I started doing theater when I was 4. My dad did a show here in 1992, and I was 1 year old, and thus my whole family started doing theater here. We were all in the Sound of Music together. We were in the Sound
All of us.
We were the Von Traps.
That was my first adult show.
It was, yeah. So I grew up doing theater here. I went to UC Irvine and got my degree in drama and stopped doing theater after that because college was an experience that was really wonderful and I learned a ton, but I didn't want to do theater anymore. I worked at an education technology nonprofit for a bit. I worked at Google. Most recently, I was at Lucasfilm doing product development for Star Wars. And then I came here because theater is my passion, and I loved all of the work that I did at Lucasfilm, but I wasn't very passionate about it. So it feels really good to come home. I'm very happy to be here. There's still so much for me to learn, and I really appreciate everyone's patience with me as I'm still trying to learn things, but very happy to be back. And I feel just accepted and happy, and no job is easy, no job is perfect, but when you're doing something that you really love and you're passionate about and you're with the incredible volunteers that are here all the time, I mean, it's wonderful. So
We'll workshop your character too. Nobody works at Star Wars.
yeah, no one works.
So that's unbelievable. So.
Pretty cool.
All right, so I'm Denver. My mom runs this theater company. She does something here.
She beats us on how young she was.
So I started when I was 4.
-1.
Yes. Really, but really when I started was taking my clothes off when I was like 2 and ruining all of my older sister's performances at home.
Who's your older sister?
That's where I started. My older sister, Phoenix. She really appreciated that. That's when I started to hone my craft. Anyway, so yeah, I've done theater since I was a kid and then went to college and studied more theater, and yeah, it's always been a part of me, part of my blood, and I'm still kind of navigating what that means for a career or a job. It definitely affects me every day, and it's a wonderful relationship, though confusing. I don't have a concrete thing to tell you.
Very honest.
But she's home and we're so happy.
And we don't want you to go anywhere.
I don't know what to say.
I'll talk a little bit for Denver as well.
I mean,
No, that was.
after college, I with my friend David, he created an awesome company, and so I was a part of that for a while. So I'll let him talk about that company later. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. Okay. My name is David Garrison, and I am neither a doctor nor am I starting a family.
That's okay.
But I did work on The Last Jedi. Megan can attest to that.
I can't. It's true.
Yes. Now canon. I think my first show here, I was either 5 or 6, and it was
the Christmas one with the homeless kids. And you Christmas children.
And you instantly broke the fourth wall.
No, I didn't. I actually waited until to school or not to school to break the fourth wall, where I had a very infamous ad lib that got me in trouble with everyone but Kathy Keller, who applauded me. I think you might have.
I can just imagine Jennifer's eyeballs.
Oh yeah, I could feel her eyeballs. Well, this was before the pitch. She was over on the.
Right.
She was on the other side.
The band is up.
Yes, yeah. Yes. Oh my
That's
God.
how you used to remember.
That is so weird.
The band was on.
I still remember to this day where stage right is because of Kathy Keller. Because stage right is where Kathy stands, and she's always right.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
I have been in dozens of theaters since here, and she's always stage
Waving
right.
her pink slips at you.
Yeah.
Ready for a whistle. That's how I. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm ready.
Fingers right here.
Definitely, she's always on. She's over there.
Always stage right and always right. So I still carry that with me. Anyway, my name is Ned, and I was a homeless child in that production. I remember my name. I was so excited about being in that show. Never stopped. Was here until I was 19, and then that's when I branched off and Denver came home. We stood on top of the Blue Line parking garage and looked out at Roseville as the sun set and contemplated life. And they were like, let's start a production company. So we did. We did that for about almost 9 years. Or I did. She pieced out, but then came back, did a bunch of stuff, and then pieced again. That's what we do. So we shouldn't get too comfortable with her back. Yeah, she'll do some amazing projects and then disappear for 2 years. She has to hibernate. Anyway, I gave the company away to amazing people a year ago, and they're doing amazing things with it today. I took kind of a year off, and then got a call from the show. And she said, essentially, it's time to come back. And I did. I've been teaching Saturday workshops here every Saturday for the last 2 months, and we'll continue. And I'm directing Titus and Veronicas here. Yay! So excited. We have a phenomenal cast, and it opens on June 23rd.
And my wife won't stop talking about
It will
you.
be very bloody, I'm sure.
It is going to be appropriately bloody, which is a lot. But it's appropriate to the show. We're not adding more than there needs to be, but there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Well, I mean,
red
it
gloves and scarves.
Oh no, it's gonna be wet.
The real deal.
No, the real.
Yeah, we'll be
Splash
starting.
zone. Just kidding.
No.
Jennifer is like, were we all, by the way, I think, were we all in West Side Story Tower?
I was not.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
I thought we all.
Katie and Mitch were. Katie and Mitch definitely were, but maybe there was an age cutoff, wasn't there? Yeah, I was. Chelsea Baldry likes speaking on the
Okay, but we were all.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely were.
I'm just gonna pretend.
They like to pretend I was Puerto Rican.
Me too! I was a shark!
I was Puerto Rican.
But you were my dance partner in there's a.
Yeah.
Snapping. Did the weird.
I came and saw you guys all the time.
It felt like you were in.
You guys were my idols, and I was just like, oh. Was Nick in it too?
Yeah, I think so. He was a shark.
I remember I was so excited for my big line, like trying to get Tony out. Like, Tony, we gotta go.
Oh
We
yeah!
gotta go, Tony. And I'm supposed to say, but what about the gang? And instead, for whatever reason, I say it's so powerful. I go, but Tony, what about the band? And he just looks at me, and I'm like, I said band. And I just ran off. I don't even think I waited for a response. I just blacked out and left and climbed that fence.
Yeah, we had fences, so it was in the round, the way the tower. This might go along with my story where my zipper broke.
Yeah!
Okay, so we had. Oh no, you're okay. So we had. Oh man,
He always gets close up. He's got a cute
Okay.
face.
Hey, so Robert Maka donated $200, and so he got the Star Wars smartwatch.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. And then GK Shin, who is a rock star, donated $526. So GK, for the $526, you get the Big Spoon yogurt, 52 weeks free yogurt. Yep. Yep. You get the $70 value for the iFly experience. You get a free Dutch Bros drink, and you get a Todd Taylor wine tasting for poor people. So you get all that for your donation. I just wanted to say that. Right? Awesome. Okay.
Yay! You're talking about your zipper break.
Right, but that might have been a good segue for her to ask some questions.
Right.
When was the last time you climbed a tree?
Oh God. That's really awesome. Terrible question. Some of them were, when was the last time you climbed a tree?
But that's kind of sweet.
Yesterday.
Because that's like a.
I mean, that's totally.
I think that's a sweet question because it's like, oh, you
Okay,
before.
all right. Denver, she climbed it yesterday. And David?
I have never climbed a tree. I've hugged a lot, but I've never climbed.
I had to climb one to get my son out of it.
How long ago?
A few weeks ago.
Oh.
Take notes.
I have that to look forward to.
Oh yeah, they climb fast.
I probably climbed a tree actually probably a couple months ago just for fun.
Nice.
Just because.
I love it.
Out and about.
Keep the skills
Thought
keep
I'd
the
just
skills
keep
going.
up the skills, right?
Freshman year of high school.
Wait, it's because soon you're gonna be climbing taking your son.
Staying in shape, you know.
Yeah.
Another question that we had in our basket was, what is your favorite smell? I said the water smell of Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland.
I was gonna say Main Street at Disneyland.
Wow.
By the way, if you want that Pirates of the Caribbean smell, get a humidifier. It's the same smell.
But don't change the water.
But never change the water.
Really dirty, moldy.
But it really does smell like pirates. The first time I plugged one in, I was like, oh man.
Pirates.
I like an aquarium, right?
Smell.
Favorite smell.
Again, that makes us feel like, oh, Disneyland. Yeah, totally.
I know
It
mine.
smells like
Or
Main
safe,
Street
or
now.
comforting.
The smell of this theater, actually, to tie it back.
Really?
I'm not
No, there
even
is a
kidding.
smell.
I'm not kidding. Every time I come back here, and after, we all kind of went our different ways, we would come back here pretty sparingly. If someone had a baby shower or, some kind of a party, we would come back. But I remember every time I come to those doors, the smell just immediately brings me back to being a kid, and yeah, it's crazy. And I was in here a couple weeks ago with Jillian Lehman, who hadn't been here since the old days, and she walked in and stopped and was like, oh my God, that smell.
There's a certain smell of like your room that you used to have in
My
high
room?
school. Yeah, and sometimes I'll smell a candle or something like that, and it'll remind me of that smell. And I would say that's like the safe container was his room in high school.
Your room too.
It always smelled like cat.
Oh, I do. Can I have one more?
Yeah.
Because I do actually have one that relates to you.
Muskrat.
Well, yeah.
Not a competition.
Well,
Keep going.
It is. Okay, so you know how Jen used to give singing lessons at the house?
Oh yeah.
So when I would go there and I didn't know what that smell was, and then I got older and I realized it was the smell of coffee. That house always smelled like coffee, and then, but it only like a home coffee smell, not like a coffee shop. And I remember if I go into someone's home and they're like big coffee drinkers, it smells just like Jen's house, and then I immediately go back to, oh God, I'm singing a chess song today. And I start like panicking. I just start panicking.
Oh, like a chest duet.
Yeah.
And she called Phoenix in to sing the other part.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen. Thank God.
So I
Oh
don't know
God,
if
it was
I
terrifying.
would've peed my
It
pants.
was like pure terror.
I don't know if it relates to theater really at all, but my favorite smell is cut grass. It's weird. It's because when I was growing up, I mowed a lot of lawns for family.
And that's something you want to remember?
Yes, I love it. I love being outdoors, and I played a lot of soccer and some sports and stuff, as well as theater. But that's the smell that really brings me back to my childhood. So.
Speaking of memories and history and time that you guys have all been here, this whole thing is about the fly system. Has any of you had any kind of scary stuff happen with the fly system that, just to put in perspective what it's like? Okay, well then around you, why didn't you?
Hey, it's her spawn. We have our next generation here. Yo, well, not that right now. Okay. Can you go get daddy?
Such a good actor. It's a good smell format.
Go here.
I ran the flies in ragtime, and I did.
What are you talking about?
Fly. I remember
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thanks for that.
It might have happened more than once, actually. Well, they are terrifying.
They are
because-
terrifying.
Well, and there's like a replay. Is that what they're called? Replacing it.
Yep.
So children will die if we don't.
I
I feel like that should be
But
enough.
also your children are safe.
Yeah, they're fine here.
They are safe
They're
here,
fine.
I promise. But I have a cast of half kids on the autism spectrum would be real beneficial. Let me tell you, we have to have like 3 people stationed there. Like we guard, we keep everyone safe. But it's a little terrifying.
I love all this verbal repairing we're doing after I said children will die.
I mean, they won't. We've gotten this far and everybody's been okay.
That's the beauty of theater. Who knows what's going to happen?
And also, I mean, just in context, the fly system has been around forever. I mean, we are in a historical building. So the stage is historical, the fly system is historical. It is all antiquated. And it's really important that as we progress and as the theater gets more children and more people, then we have more shows and that fly system gets more use. And more use after so long a time. And so that's why it's really important that we upgrade our system and we keep up, not just up to date, but maintaining safety for everyone. And also the ease of use. I mean, it's so old that
It's really hard.
a lot of
It's really hard.
strength that goes into
I was
playing.
ripped by the end of ragtime.
So
I was just gonna say, I remember as a teenager, like the heck out of those things.
As a relationship to the audience.
Next item up on the table.
Uh-oh.
Okay, next item up on the table. $90 value. So the next person to donate $90 or more gets 2 private 1-hour dance lessons with Gerald Bolden, who is the director and the choreographer of Spelling Bee coming up this summer. Yes? There you go. There you go. Woo, woo, woo.
People who don't know what a fly system does or have never worked with the crew or behind the scenes or anything like that, could you ever put on a play without the fly system? Like if someone were to say, oh, it's too dangerous, we can't have a fly system.
So here's the thing. You can do a play anywhere. You don't need red curtains, you don't need lights, you don't need a fly system, you don't need any of that magic to do a play. You can do a play anywhere. But, however, having these options, having a state-of-the-art system that is not only safe, but also it just broadens the director's imagination. You know, the more capabilities you have as a director, the more that's at your fingertips, the more that you can transport that audience to different places and different emotions. And, you know, flies aren't just for bringing down a backdrop, you know, I mean, they can also bring down the Manhattan Bridge, you know, if you need to. It can bring down a doorway. It can bring down cell doors for the Cell Block Tango in Chicago. It's just a way of raising the imagination roof for a director and for a creator. So while there's this a safety thing, maybe it's of course a safe system. We wouldn't have kids on stage if it weren't.
You're totally right.
It broadens the capabilities of creators, and that's what this entire company is all about.
You hear a lot of people complimenting Drowsy Chaperone when it was being put on. And would you say that the fly system had a lot to do with why that felt so grandiose?
I never saw it.
You guys remember that?
They had a plane on it.
It was like one of the last plays that was put on here, and it had like giant archway doors and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
doesn't
the
just have to be that
the
crowd.
big airplane.
and yeah.
We're using it in Titus quite a lot, actually. We're suspending like 80-foot pieces of muslin to it and like Edison light bulbs, and they're going to be going up and down every scene. And so, I mean, and it's just emotional. It's not even like a literal fly. It's just emotional, changing the curtain levels. And so, yeah.
It's probably not common, but I know they take up people too. That's in some productions. I don't know about here. This one we stated. I don't think we worry about doing that.
Remember,
But
your
was at
family would just
production.
jump.
Yeah, it was at Xanadu when they had like the horse or whatever come down, and then like she sat on it and it took her up and out, like on the fly system, because sometimes they move this way too. I mean, it just that in and of itself is something that just makes the audience go, oh, that was awesome, right? Just to like you said, transport them to that world, whatever you're creating. So, and that's the idea. Painting that picture.
Now, what's your favorite color?
Orange.
I was just My aura was described to me as teal with a streak of gold, like yellow gold. So those are my favorite colors.
So you're complicated. Got it.
We're actors, of course we're complicated.
Who tells you what your aura is? I want to know what mine is.
She is a lovely, beautiful human being. She's a good friend of mine.
Cool. It was in high school. It was really
It was a while ago.
Yeah,
Well,
you,
I like purple.
certain people can just kind of see it. Hey.
So it's kind of funny, actually. My favorite color is red. Red, and it's the same red, the specific red that is the curtain, the old curtains are here because I get really nervous, like in public settings or talking to people or starting like a show at the beginning. So every time I would get nervous right before we were going on stage, I would look at those red curtains and like collect myself, and it's that color to this day that I think of in my head if I want to be serious or if I need to collect myself or if I'm feeling like emotionally distraught. It helps me calm.
It grounds you?
Yes, it does. It's crazy.
That's deep, man.
It's definitely a different color at least. It was a very, yeah.
It's the old red curtains.
Yeah.
A little darker than like the red tape that was on the bottom of that.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
That was last year's conquest, was getting new curtains.
And then when they got when they got jammed.
I know.
Turquoise, that's my favorite color. Not that interesting. Yeah.
I have a curtain story.
Oh yeah, tell me the story.
We're not at Muskrat, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So starting doing the workshops here on Saturdays, you can register now. The first day we did it, I had to go up on stage and open the curtains so we could have a place to do what we needed to do. And already coming back to the theater was already like bringing back all these memories and all this nostalgia and all this, like you were saying, comfort and just feeling safe. And I went backstage and to open the curtains, and I was between the back wall and the closed curtains in that space that only existed before a show started. And you could hear the audience coming in, and you had those butterflies because you're about to start the show. And I mean, I actually stopped walking because it was just like, I have so many memories of being backstage behind the closed curtain waiting for the show to start, and it totally hit me. And I have there's no other places in my life that I feel the same way than about this space. And those,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's really funny because as you grow up here, you develop so many relationships, friendships, but also like you have your first crushes here and things like that. So there are lots of little secret gems all throughout backstage and downstairs where it's so-and-so plus so-and-so. And to see those memories are really unreal, and then to see them come back in real life. And you're like, oh, hi. I used to really like you, and there's evidence in the dressing room.
I actually just discussed it with David because I was like, I have a crush on you. And everyone's worse.
But I have a crush on David, so you know.
Hey, I'm single, and I'm open to the. Oh, you have a beautiful husband though, or a boyfriend.
We're not married.
Surprise, boyfriend!
Kevin was my first crush in Once on This Island, and you parted your hair.
Oh yeah.
So I started parting my hair because obviously he would. I started parting my hair because you did, and I thought, well, clearly he'll like me.
That's how that works.
It didn't work out.
You have to fold your arms the same way he does. That's what it. Yeah.
So we became good friends in high school. So.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just in the theaters where we were coming up. I grew up through so many awkward stages that at this point, like no one that I grew up with, like even if like I had a crush on somebody, I don't think it would ever be like a relationship because we're just such good friends. So much history. It feels like a family thing. Yeah, exactly. So like that kind of experience just sort of makes you feel like you're at home here. You know?
Well, I think that's why this theater is so important because, you know, I mean, I think that youth athletics and things like that are really important, and like, I don't know, avid math groups or whatever, something I never participated in. But there's something very, very special about creating something and telling a story to an audience, and I think that when you get kids that are doing it, and that's what makes RTAA different than other companies, is it's about creating something together and entertaining an audience, and there are no small roles. It's everyone has a different piece of this puzzle that we're trying to build together, and that is what is the big lesson at this theater is you are valued, you are important, and when you're on the stage, we are all protecting each other to tell a story. And that alone, those skills that you learn from that will catapult you in, I mean, and we're not the only quasi-successful alumni. I mean, Mitch Lewis, Nick Adorno, Chelsea Baldry, Cassie March, Aaron Mulvey. I mean, there are so many alumni from this place that are out there. Jacob Keller. I mean, there are people that are, and there's no measure, I mean, success is not location, it's environment. You know, good theater is environment, not where you're at, which is why here in Roseville on Vernon Street is a beautiful, amazing theater that I think pushes the envelope for how they educate youth, and hopefully in the near future some adult productions as well.
Well, and whether or not you're pursuing this for your career, like I'm going to be a Broadway star. Clearly, I'm not, right? Yeah.
I am. I'm a Broadway star.
You would take those with you everywhere. Because I really did think I was going to be a Broadway star. I was convinced that was it. That's the only thing I could ever do. And then I found other things that I was passionate about. But without doing these workshops and learning from everyone and communicating and relying on other people, I don't think I would have been able to know how to do an interview, a job interview. Really, there's just little social skills, things like that. It's not just here. It's not just on the stage. You take it literally everywhere you go.
Yeah, confidence is probably the biggest thing you'll take away from this is confidence. You know, I have to sell design ideas to people that don't understand design. So I probably should have said that on a live stream. They're great. I love my clients. But darn it. But having the I mean, I could get in front of 10 of my coworkers. I can get in front of 50 people, and I'm going to be fine. And 90% of that comes from this theater and comes from my education here.
Yeah. And I think, the theater, the other really important thing that I think we've all sort of hinted at, but is that this is a home for everyone. Like, you come here and you're accepted for who you are, and you're wonderful for who you are, and it's our differences that made us strong. And we were all quirky kids. Don't get us wrong. So, I think that self-confidence and ability to find a place where you can be yourself is just such a gift.
Most people have high school friends that they go back and see when they come home, right? They're like, oh yeah, my high school friend, this and that. Mine are all theater friends. All of them, every single one. Yeah. And if some of those overlap, like especially the ones that were theater and high school friends, But like this is just a community that sort of catapulted me in my. That's invaluable to me. I think everyone can see how passionate we all are about like this place.
Yeah.
Building a love for the arts and sense of community.
Yeah, it was a really weird thing to come back into this role and to not know anyone here. Like that was weird for me to come here and be like, I don't know anyone here. But it also but also really cool because like to see a whole new generation of students here on the stage doing the same right now they're doing school or not school. Okay, next week. And when I did that, my dad was the guest star. It's just And so it's really cool.
That was my number.
Yeah. That was your accent. Yeah. So it's so cool to see these students experiencing the same thing I experienced, just a different time, and what I mean? It's special, and it's
We stopped rehearsal the other night for that very reason. We were working on Titus and we were doing table work, and we were in this lobby, and the children's workshop had gotten out. So all these kids, we're sitting there reading about murder and blood, but all these kids start leaving the workshop, and I actually stopped rehearsal and just reminded my Titus cast, you have no idea how lucky we are to have the luxury to tell this story.
That was so cool though to have them walking through because it was T-shirt day, and it was like I remember T-shirt day whenever we got our T-shirts.
Those satin jackets.
Oh, the jacket! I still have those.
Me
really
too.
did. I still have my
Jillian made all of her show shirts into a quilt.
Oh, I have a show
That's a good
quilt.
idea.
Show shirt quilt too. Yeah. I always expected to get a satin jacket, even though I never sold me for that. I would like be off stage like waiting for my name to be announced and be so.
Maybe my mom
distraught
surprised
when I
me and
was
sold
never
tickets.
announced.
That's what it was. I gave myself tickets.
Yeah. Oh, she had to do it times three. She had three.
Do we still do that?
We do that. Yeah. I don't know. We don't do that.
That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, sweatshirt. No. We're just not quite as cool as those awesome satin jackets.
Oh man, that you could hear if someone was wearing it. Just a whoosh, whoosh. Yeah.
I used to wear those shirts everywhere. Those show
You were
shirts.
single for a while.
It was a time. Good point.
I love you guys.
What is T-shirt day for people that are thinking of bringing their kids here?
So T-shirt day, when you do a workshop, you get a T-shirt of that workshop. It has a special design, show design for each show, which is awesome because they were actually designed by my grandfather, who is passed away. But he would draw artwork for each show, so that's the artwork that's on the T-shirt, and you get it for free just for being a part of the workshop. So when you get your T-shirt, it's not only a way to like advertise the show, but like because you get to wear it to school and stuff. And you're like, oh, this thing is a show I'm in. You should come and see it.
Denver was single for a while too. Hey, you're married and I'm not, so.
Like I said, we were quirky kids.
But it worked. But also it's just a keepsake. I mean, people make quilts out of it.
I still have mine.
Well, like the school and after school one was super cool because it's got all those like
It was like the graffiti, you know, hidden messages.
the hidden messages in it.
Usually bright colors.
Yeah, there was a lime green one.
Yeah.
I never wore that one.
It looks real good in that one.
Never wore that. That might have been a Soon the Rain School prom one.
I think it was.
Yeah. You were the butterfly one. Or no, not the butterfly. What were you?
I was everything. We were butterflies together. We were butterflies together. You
I was
were
a
the
howler
little
monkey.
butterfly and I was the big
A howler monkey.
You were a howler.
I was. My name was Screech. I remember all my character names. I was Johnny Angel in Angel's Apprentice and Smelling
I was
Disasters.
Face of an Angel.
Were you?
Yep.
Were you saying
I
that?
was Fallen Angel. No, that was I still have my damaged angel.
I will never forget though, ever, when we did Polar Problem.
I
And,
was also shoot.
well, of course you were. Amy, who was the guest artist that one time for Polar Problem? Was it Amy?
Amy Cole.
Yes, Amy Coles. And Mitch played the main elf, the main like, and he stopped the show to say, "It looks like we've got ourselves a polar problem." And the entire audience, I mean, he's like 9, and like knew how to milk the audience so much, and the audience lost their minds. It took us like 20 minutes to get the show back on track.
There's that Mitch for ya.
I don't remember who I was in that.
Yep. He's a funny guy.
He's a good guy.
That was the one.
I saw his video a few years ago for this day on YouTube.
Oh,
He was like, he started the video in the shower.
I did not even see this.
No,
Well, he was
literally,
naked.
and he turns around and goes,
Every
"Oh, hey guys!" Like,
He was always naked.
He's no pants Mitch. It's written in the dressing room. Anybody wondering? That's her brother.
West Side Story. We don't need to wear dance belts. I'm gonna wear a dance belt. You don't need to. I'll wear nothing.
Yep, I hope you're watching. Yes, Mitch did indeed go on stage without him. That was in Oliver.
It was
It
an
was
accident.
Consider yourself at home. Yes, dancing across. That was an accident. But that started it. I just changed it.
Yeah. So many good memories.
It was a good time.
Any other questions for us?
I don't know when we're going back to the actual program.
It's 7:41. Jennifer, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah.
I think we're done, so we've got to put everything back on
We
stage.
gotta put everything back.
We got to get ready for the live auction.
Live
We gotta get
auction, choir.
Got stuff to do.
That's
We gotta-
I found my phone. That's important. We're missing your keys.
And we got to say happy birthday to
Samantha, happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Samantha. Happy birthday to you.
That's his job.
And it's Patty Lewis's birthday too. It is Patty.
Happy birthday.
She's my birthday buddy. Patty Lewis, happy birthday, Patty. We can sing happy birthday to her from her pushing to the choir. Oh yeah.
We'll get a chance later.
All right, so I'm gonna go do more work, and I love you guys, and thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
I really wanted to listen and cry, but I didn't because I didn't have time. That's good. So I just listened and laughed and had fun.
Didn't have time to cry.
So does somebody want to throw us to commercial break so I can stop it and then set up?
Come on. Denver here. Do that.
Hey there, buddy. We're gonna do something, and you're gonna go do whatever you need to do. So take care of your needs, and then come on back and watch us some more.
And
Okay, yeah, we need your money. So look,
Is this take two?
different voices.
All right, we'll see you guys inside.